borrows more money. Okay, and they borrow money to pay off their debts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how the amount that a government can borrow from the IMF and the World Bank depends on how many taxpayers they have. Because what happens is they borrow the money, they pay the bills, and then the taxes get paid through the Bank of International Settlements back to the IMF, and that's how they furnish their debt. That's the security. The security for the loan is the taxpayers. They're bonded, called sovereign bonds, and they're traded. And so I was explaining that to the welfare guy and saying that, beneficiary is in fact a legal term. What it in fact means is that there is a trust with your name in it that you're being paid from. So that's what it means to be a beneficiary, and his wages are paid from the same account as the benefit is paid from, and he's in fact able to collect that because he's managing that for me individually. So and then he went on to talk about how they're implementing a few new things because they've come to realise that their attitude in government departments has been jaded. And so I suggested to him that in the next suggestion meetings that they have of good ideas, that maybe you could think about splitting WINZ into two separate organisations that are run in the same office, dual run, and when you go in there you have a choice of left or right, red or blue, or whatever you want, and each one of them offers slightly different services for the beneficiary. And then what that would do is that whoever offered the better services for the beneficiary would get more clients and therefore be able to be allocated more money. That would create a competition between them where they would be offering more and better services and streamlined fucking methods of being able to do that for the beneficiary. And he goes, well, that's actually a pretty good idea, I might suggest it. And I go, well, it's because when a human being is forced into something, they don't feel happy about it. But if you don't force them into it and you present them with a choice, they're much happier about it because they've had a part in the process. They've made a choice of left or right or whatever, two different services. So that was my rant for working income today.
Okay, can you explain fiduciary?
Fiduciary is a fiduciary is a trust position. It's considered a trust position, but it's actually more than that. It's considered to be more than acting in someone's best interest. Okay? What it is, a fiduciary is the relationship between a parent and a child. A fiduciary is done, the services of a fiduciary are done out of love. And that's where it's missing, in the original contracts that were made between the government and the people. The government actually promised to love us and take care of us like a father looks after his son. That's what a fiduciary is. You're not just acting in the best interest, you're doing all that's possible for that individual out of love because you desire them to become more than what they are.
Awesome.
So that's what a fiduciary position is, and that's the position the government is supposed to have with us. But they have more of a, parasitic, exploitive position at the moment where internally government companies, so like you have the ministry and then you have a company that runs the services of the ministry, right? The services of the ministry is paid by the ministry. So what you have at the moment is a whole bunch of companies that are using the concept of providing a service to make money from the government.
Yeah.
And that's where it's gone awry.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's a commercial enterprise.
Yeah, exploitative, and it's...
they're looking at cutting corners and making more profit.
Yeah, at the cost of, newborn babies and all sorts.
That, and the truth is that the shareholders of those companies is the government.
So
okay,
what's that called? That's called...
It's conflict of interest,
yeah,
really.
Total.
Yeah. The people who maintain the prisons, the prison service people, in most of the world is a company called Serco. They manage the prisons. Well, that's Prince William's company. And Prince William also owns the legal system. And all of the judges and that swear an oath to him when they're talking about the sovereign.
Mm.
You know, because even though it's Queen Elizabeth at the moment, she's ending her reign, and it's probably going to skip over.
And that's the importance of us Indigenous people and, you know, Pākehā people born on our land. We really need to stand up now because the window of opportunity
It's
to
closing.
is closing.
The truth is that that we can talk about whakaputanga, or we can talk about Bill of Rights or human rights, or we can talk about Magna Carta, or we can talk about any one of those documents, but the truth is that our rights don't come from them. They are merely
Guidelines.
convenient lists
Mm.
of things that are available to us, but really the truth is that our rights stem from the Creator. And I've said this before and I'll say it again: does the bird that flies or the snail that slithers, do they have to ask for a license to drive or travel or go anywhere? No, they
Or
just
exist.
go and fly. They exist. They exist. We are of the same ilk. We exist here. We come from the same thing. You know, it's preposterous that a group of human individuals can gather together and say that they have right to govern
Over any
or
other,
dictate.
over someone else.
Yeah.
That's why we're anti-government. We
it's
believe
not-
in self-governance.
We're not anti-government. Okay?
Well, I am.
You know, like, government really means mind control, right? We're anti someone else controlling our mind.
Yeah.
We want to control our own mind.
Yeah, self-governance
Yeah, and you call it self-governance.
is the goal.
The truth is, from a magical perspective, the idea is own your mind, or someone else will.
And cats.